Brethren, the journey of our lives, from the moment you are conceived in the womb, the day you were born, and we start this great journey. The journey is signposted with different levels of challenges. Life itself is a challenge. Living and surviving day by day is a big challenge. And do you know nobody is exempted? Not even the royals. Not even the rich millionaires. Not even the people we are thinking that they have everything they need in life. There's no single life without challenge. Life is full of challenges. And sometimes the challenges could become overwhelming. The challenges could become unbearable. Why do you think that people kill themselves? It's because they can no longer face the challenges. They can no longer cope with the challenges. And that's why they decide to end it all. And so many people in such situations, some people will give up. You know, when we are born newly and we are growing up in life, we have a lot of aspirations in life. We have goals. We have what we want to become in life. And that thing we want to become in life, we stand afar off in our front. And sometimes we can visualize it. We can see it ahead. That this is what I want to become. This is where I'm heading to. This is where I want to get to in life. But sometimes, brethren, challenges of life could make somebody to abandon that vision. And say that, well, I think it was just a mere mirage. I think I was just daydreaming. I don't think it's possible. And so if we are not careful, we abandon life visions. And a lot of people, they are abandoning life visions every day. You come across them later in life, you say, friend, what's going on? How far without your life vision? You say, forget it. It's not possible. They've given up. They've thrown it away. So, and you know, when we talk about life vision sometimes comes out of God's promises, revelations. It comes out of what heaven, what the spirit realm reveals to you about your life. And that becomes a vision. That becomes a target, what you want to reach, where you want to get to. But challenges can make somebody to give them up. And that's why today, brethren, I want to talk to you. I want to encourage you. I want to plead with you that no matter what happens, no matter what you are going through in life, no matter the challenges you are facing, don't throw your visions away. Don't give up on your visions. Are you understanding me? So that's why we are talking about don't allow challenges to kill your visions. Don't allow challenges. Challenges will be there. Do you know that human beings overcome challenges? That's the way God created us. That's the nature of man. We are created very tough, very rugged to overcome challenges. So any challenge you come across in life, brethren, tell yourself simply, I will overcome it. Encourage yourself and say, I will overcome this challenge. It's just a temporary challenge. I will go beyond it. Because challenges are there sometimes to test our resolves and our ruggedness and to see how much we can endure in life. That's what challenges do. And challenges come in different forms. Challenges come in different shapes. Challenges come in different manners. But whichever way the challenges are coming, brethren, don't throw your visions away. Don't throw your visions away. Hebrews chapter 12. Hebrews chapter 12. Look at verse 1. He said, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses. He said, whatsoever you are going through now, you are not the first person to experience it. He said, there are clouds of witnesses, so many people that if you hear their own testimony, you hear their own witness, how they went through challenges, he said, you will be encouraged. He said, we are surrounded by a cloud of witnesses. He said, when you have that mindset, he said we should lay aside every weight. That's challenge. He said when the challenges come to force you to give up, he said you should lay it aside. And tell the challenge, I have been carrying this vision before you came. I'm not going to throw away this vision because of you. He said lay that weight aside. Lay that challenge aside. There are situations in life we are completely helpless. We can't help ourselves. There's nothing we can do. We have no control. When you come across such situations in life, don't bother yourself. The situation will sort itself out. Do you know that sometimes time, I'm talking of time, we solve some problems without you even doing anything. Some problems will expire on their own, and it's time that makes them to expire. Now look at what the Bible said further. He said sometimes it could even be sin. He said even the sin that doth easily beset us, and then he said we should run with patience. He said there is a race that is set before us. Where are we running to? We are running towards our vision. We are running towards our goal. We have something we want to accomplish in life. He said because of that, don't allow any sin, don't allow any weight, don't allow any challenge to distract you. He said push them aside. Verse 2. He said now let me give you an example of the cloud of witnesses. He said looking unto Jesus. He said look at the case of Jesus, the author and the finisher of our faith, who, take note of what he said here, who for what? Joy. That was his vision. There was a vision clearly set before Jesus. And that was the vision of joy that was set before him. He was all through this period. He had no accommodation. He was not worried about that. All this while, his mates were marrying and he didn't marry. He was not distracted by that one. All this while, he was going on foot from village to village and suffering all those things. And they will insult him and they will nearly throw stone at him and all those things. What he was focused on was that joy. He knew that all that mattered to him was that joy. And he did not want anything to distract him from that joy. Do you know, brethren, he got to a point. Satan came to him and wanted to exchange that vision. Satan said, bow down, worship me, I will give you this whole world. This whole world, is it the joy? It's not the joy he's looking for. It's not the joy. There was a joy he's looking at far off. If you're not careful, Satan will give you a replacement. He will give you an alternative. He will exchange something for you, just to take away the original vision, to remove your focus from the original vision. Do you know it got to a point, brethren? Some people wanted to grab Jesus by force to make him a king. They wanted to make him a king by force. Is that the joy that he was pursuing? No. And that's why he escaped. Sometimes, brethren, as you begin to navigate this journey of life, and as you are progressing, there are a lot of things that will be crossing your path. So many things. But what I'm pleading with you is identify your goal. Identify your vision. Jesus wanted the joy. The joy. The joy of being called the Son of God. The joy of being the Messiah of mankind. The joy of being the husband of the church. The joy of sitting with the Father on the throne. That's the joy he was focusing on. And he rejected any other thing that would distract him. So don't allow challenges of life. He had it very rough. He had it very difficult. Sometimes no food, no house, nothing. Those are challenges, brethren. And he overcame all those challenges to lay hold on that joy. Look at what the Bible said further. The Bible said he endured the cross. He despised what? The shame. We don't understand what that means. We just read through it and go away. Do you know who a rabbi is in Judaism? A rabbi is the highest level of holiness. Highest level of holiness in Judaism. If you are a rabbi. And do you know such level of person is like the prophet of the land? And such person to be stripped naked before the whole country and beaten to the point the Bible said there was nothing, no beauty left in him, and then they crucified him naked like that on the cross. That's the shame we are talking about. Is that not a big challenge? Do you know when they started the beating, when they started the crucifixion and all those things, they were still offering him distraction. They saying, save yourself, jump down from this cross. You have the power. Save yourself from this shame. But why did he not save himself? The vision, the joy. He's looking, it's just a few more time will solve everything very soon. And within few hours, time solved that problem. He died and reached that joy, that vision. So that's what the Bible is telling us here. He said he endured the shame, despised the shame, and what? He's now set down at the right hand of the throne of God. That's the joy. That's what he focused on. That's the vision. And he didn't allow anything on earth to distract him. Verse 3. He said, well, let's take a time, just a moment, and consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself. That's the challenge. Do you know what Jesus has to put up with to endure? All kinds of blasphemy, all kinds of malicious statements against himself. He endured all those things. Those are challenges. And the Bible says, when you understand this, don't be weary and don't faint. Where? In your mind. In your mind. Because if somebody is going to throw visions away, it starts from the mind. Your mind will tell you, are you still doing this? How many years now? You have been believing this for how long? You know, that's what the wife of Job told him. He said, integrity, integrity. You are still holding on to integrity. You are dying here, rotten. You are smelling. Everybody ran away from you. You are saying integrity. Why not curse God and just die? So, brethren, challenges will come. The Bible says in verse 4, you have not even resisted, even unto blood. You know, everything about the journey of the life of Jesus, from the beginning, he knew what he came to do. He was focused. He did not allow any distraction. And that helped him to focus until he got that joy he was looking for. He could visualize the joy. Even in his statements, in his prayers, he will say, Father, the joy that I have with you, give it to my people also. He could visualize the joy. And he endured everything to get that joy. I don't know what your visions are, brethren. I don't know what is ahead of you. I don't know what God has shown you about your life, both here now and eternity. I don't know what you have determined to become in life. And you are like maybe almost giving up and say, well, there's no hope anymore. Don't give up. Don't give up. Moses knew he was not ordinary child. Moses wasn't, even the mother that gave birth to him, they tried to hide him, but they couldn't, and all those things. And then finally God started to navigate his life. Do you know Moses didn't get to the vision until he was 80 years old? Do you know Caleb didn't possess the promise of God until he was 85 years old? Do you know Jacob didn't even start even to marry until he was over 105 years old? So what am I saying in essence? But these people remained focused. When Jacob was running away, and Jehovah God came to him, and he saw that ladder, and saw heaven open, and God told him all those things. If he was not careful, if he was not focused, he would have said, at what age are you now showing me a ladder? Why didn't you show me since? But that ladder remained a focus. He remained his vision in life. And he didn't allow anything to distract him. Look at the same Hebrew chapter 11. Look at Hebrews 11 verse 8. He said, by faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which you should after receive for an inheritance, obeyed. And he went out, not even knowing where he was going. Do you see how vision operates? God came to him in a dream. It was a vision of the night. And he saw the dream. In the morning, he packed his load, not knowing where he was going. But there was something he saw. There was a vision he knew he saw. And God said, follow that vision. Brother, do you have vision? Follow that vision. I say, follow the vision God has given you. So he followed that vision, not even knowing where he was going. And then finally, the Bible says, look at verse 9. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise. Even when he got to the land, he didn't get there and say, look, the Almighty God that created this land has called me, say I should come and take it. The Bible says he got there and became a sojourner. He became just a visitor to that land, as in a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles. He didn't even go there and say, well, move out of this house for me. God has given me this house. The Bible says he was living in tabernacles with Isaac, with all his servants, and Jacob. They hear with him of the same promise. Verse 10. For he looked for what? Are you following me? The Bible says he was looking for a city. Do you see how that vision operates? That was how God showed it to him. He was looking for a city. The city was afar off. He said he was looking for a city which had foundation, whose builder and maker is God. That was the vision. And that became the only thing he was focusing on. Look at verse 13. He said, do you know that they continue looking for that city, focus on that city, journey towards that city, and this all died in faith, not having they received the promises. Do you know that Abraham didn't possess the land of Canaan till he died? Do you know that Isaac didn't possess the land of Canaan till he died? Do you know that Jacob didn't possess the land of Canaan till he died? That's what the Bible is saying here. He said that, but they saw the city. They saw the city afar off. And they were pressing towards it. Even though they lived and died without possessing it, but that vision never died. They handed over the vision to their children. The vision didn't die. The Bible says, look at that verse 13. They have not received the promise, but having what? They haven't seen them afar. That's how visions operate. Visions, you begin to see that promise of God afar off. You are able to visualize it afar off. You can describe it how it looks like, because the Lord has revealed it to you. And I thank God for this ministry. Since we started this church, the Lord has revealed a lot of things to us. The Lord has shown many of us so many things. He has given us indelible promises. Promises that are engraved here upon our spirit man, that you cannot take away. That's the vision. So we have seen it afar off, and they were persuaded of them, and they embraced them. They even confessed them, even when they were strangers on earth. Verse 14. For they that say such thing declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful, take note of this, take note of this. If they have been mindful of that country from where they came out, they must have had the opportunity to return back. Do you know that when Abraham came out, the first thing that encountered him was famine, challenge. And that led him to migrate to Egypt. He went to Egypt. When he came back from Egypt, he encountered Abimelech. And they snatched his wife again. Challenges. And do you know what the Bible was saying in verse 15? He said, if they had lost the vision, the original vision, the vision of the promised land, he said one step they will have taken is to return back to where they came from. You know, that's what a lot of Christians are doing these days. They are returning back to their foundations, to their father's foundations, to their mother's foundations. The foundations God is trying to deliver them from, they are returning back there. And why are they returning? Because they've lost the vision, the original vision that made them to depart in the first place. He said Abraham didn't even contemplate it. Even when he wanted to marry for his son, he warned his servant and said, don't bring my son back to that place again. So why? Because the vision was looming large in his front. Verse 16. But now they desire a better country. Do you know your vision, brethren, is better than your present condition? Do you know that your destination is better than where you are presently? That's what he said. They desired a better country, that is an heavenly, where God is not ashamed to be called their God. That's the vision. Verse 25. He said, because of that vision that was so large in their front, choosing rather to suffer affliction with the people of God. They were ready to suffer anything just to achieve that vision. Brethren, I beg you, after today's prayer and today's message, go and dig up all your visions again. Even the ones you have possibly forgotten about. Go back to your dream notes and read them all over again. Go back to what God has told you that you wrote. That's why I begged you to write things down. I told you to document everything so that you can always go back and read them again and see the vision, the original vision. The vision that was not fake, that was not deception, that came from the Father himself. Go and read that vision again. Go and read that vision again. He said that because the vision, they choose to suffer. They didn't bother about anything. He now went to verse 32. He said, and what shall I say more? For the time will fail me to tell. He now started to call their names. To call their names. He said, do you know Gideon? Do you know Barak? Do you remember Samson? Do you remember Jephthah? Do you remember David? David is so interesting. So interesting. Because in the case of, he said that all these people, he now listed them, who through faith, they subdued kingdoms. Why were they subduing kingdoms? Because kingdoms were standing on their way. Kingdoms wanted to distract them. Kingdoms wanted to divert them from their original vision. He said they subdued anything that stood on their way. Is that not what you have been doing here? That's what you have been doing. You've been subduing kingdoms. They wrought righteousness. They obtained promise. They stopped the mouth of lions. He says some other one, they had trials or cruel mockings, scourgings, and some imprisonment. They stoned some. They cut some in pieces. They were tempted. They were slain with the sword. They wandered about in sheepskin and goat skin. Why would human beings choose to live this kind of life? It's because of vision. There's something they are pursuing. There's something they are after. And that thing they want to get, the enemies want to take it from them. Brethren, don't allow any enemy to take your vision. Don't allow anything to snatch your vision. You know, you mentioned David. Let's look briefly at David before we pray. In 1 Samuel 17. Because David's own started from when he was very young in life. 1 Samuel 17, look at verse 12. Now, David was the son of that Ephrathite of Bethlehem, Judah, whose name was Jesse, and he had 8 sons. And the man went among men for an old man in the days of Saul. Do you see that? Jesse was already old man. David was the last born. He was the last born. 8 children. The father was old, so there was like virtually no hope anymore for him. Verse 13. And the 3 eldest sons of Jesse went and followed Saul to the battle. And the name of his 3 sons that went to battle were Eliab the firstborn, and then Abinadab, and then Shammah. So he had 3 brothers that were in the army. 3 brothers were in the army, the elder brothers. Verse 14. And David was the youngest. And the 3 elders followed Saul. But David went and returned from Saul to feed his father's sheep at Bethlehem. And the Philistines drew near morning and evening and presented himself 40 days. That's verse 15, verse 16. And Jesse, verse 17, Jesse said unto David his son, take now for thy brethren an ephah of this parched corn, and these 10 loaves, and run to the camp to thy brethren. The army was so poor that the country cannot even feed the soldiers. Every family have to send food by themselves to their family member in the war front. So they now send David to take parched corn. You know, it's like that man that said that he will recruit 50 million youth into the army and feed them with agbado and cassava. So he said, take parched corn to people fighting war, national war. Verse 18, and carry these 10 cheese unto the captain of their 1,000, and look how thy brethren fear, and take their pledge. Verse 19, now Saul and they, men of Israel, were in the valley of Elah, fighting with the Philistines. Verse 20, and David rose up early in the morning, and left the sheep with a keeper, and took and went as Jesse had commanded him. And he came to the trench, and as the host was going forth to the fight, and shouted for the battle. For Israel and Philistine had put the battle in array, army against army. And David left his carriage in the hand of the keeper of the carriage, and ran into the army, and came and saluted his brethren. And he as talked with them, behold, there came up the champion, the Philistine of Gath, Goliath by name, out of the armies of the Philistines, and spake according to the same word, and David heard them. Verse 24. And all the men of Israel, when they saw the man, fled from him, and were so afraid. And the men of Israel said, I want you to take note of this now. Have you seen this man that is come up? Surely to defy Israel is he come up, and it shall be. You know, brethren, sometimes challenge itself will give birth to a vision. Sometimes troubles of life, challenges of life will create a vision for you. So David was just by chance at the point the man came up and was insulting the God of Israel. Now look at what they told David, the soldiers there. They say, surely, and it shall be that the man who killeth him, the king will do what? enrich him with great, are you following me? With great riches, and will give him his daughter, and make his father's house free in Israel. Do you see a vision has appeared? Do you see how vision has come out here? So the men were just telling David, say, there's a reward though. There's a reward. If you are able to kill this giant, the king will give you a lot of money. He will give you his daughter and make your family free in Israel. Ha! Isn't that a vision? Vision be free. Maybe they will not pay tax again. Vision to become the king's in-law. Isn't that wonderful? Vision to be made rich by the king. These are great visions. And so they presented this vision before David. You know, people thought that David just went and killed Goliath. No, it's these things that attracted him. Let me show you. So, verse 26. And David spake to the men that stood by him, saying, repeat it again in my ear. Repeat what you just said now. He said, are you there with me? He said, what shall be? He's not talking about anything Goliath insult anybody. He said, that thing you just said now. That they are going to do to the person that killed. Repeat it, let me hear again. He wanted to be sure. So that was the only attraction for David. That was the only attraction. He was willing to take the risk. After all dying a day. He was willing to take that risk. Do you know what it means? For you to get big money from the king. Carry the king's daughter home. And then you are free in Israel. He did it. In his mind, he will be saying, what is Eliab doing here since? So he said, can you please repeat it? What is going to be done to the man that killed this Philistine and taketh away the reproach from Israel? For who is this uncircumcised Philistine that he should defy the armies of the living God? Verse 27. And the people answered him. What did they answer him? They repeated the thing again to him. After this manner, they repeated it, saying, so shall it be done to the man that killed him. So is that benefit that David was after? That was the vision. He was willing to take any risk. Verse 28. And Eliab, his eldest brother, heard when he spake unto the men, and Eliab's anger was, challenges has come. When you have a clear vision, David was no longer thinking of his life anymore. What he was thinking is how to be called in law of King Saul. And who knows, they will give him one title, isn't it? His life will change forever. Plus the money they are going to hand over to him. So that was, and now the elder brother come to use elder brother muzzle. He was angry with him. Challenge. How will he now deal with the elder brother and deal with the Philistine? That's the challenge. The elder brother could shout on him and say, get out of this place. And that vision will perish. That will be the end of that vision. That's why I told you, don't allow challenges to kill your vision. Don't allow challenges to kill your vision. Verse 29. And David said, what have I now done? What is my offense? Is there not, he said, can't you see this vision? Is there not a cause? Can't you see what is in our front? That our family can be free from here. Verse 30. And he turned, take note of this one. And he ignored his brother. He has solved the brother's problem. He has silenced him. And he turned from him towards another and spake afterward. The same man, he said, please, that thing you people told me, is it true? So that I will not go and risk my life and be fighting this giant after you people tell me it's just a joke. So he now asked again, so that they will confirm it 3 times. And the people answered him again after the former manner. They say it's true. It's true. Verse 31. And when the words were heard which David spake, they rehearsed them before Saul, and he sent for him. So he now said, I will go. I will fight it. So they now went and told King Saul. And King Saul said they should go and bring him. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because of him. Now, another challenge. How will the king allow a small boy? All the old men, soldiers that fool there, they can't fight the battle. Is he a small child you want to go and allow to be fighting giant? So how do you convince the king to allow you? Another challenge. Brother, challenges will pose itself every time that God opens a door for you. That's what Paul the Apostle said. He said that God has opened doors for me. He said, but there are too many adversaries. Too many challenges. So don't allow those challenges to kill your vision. So they now brought him to King Saul. And King Saul said, look, you are not able. You forget it. I can't allow you. He said, this man is a warrior from his childhood. You are just a small child. So with that, you don't qualify. But David was still thinking of the money. Thinking of how to become the in-law. Only that he cannot start calling in-law, sir. Please allow me to go and try this. And David said to Saul, let no man's heart fail because thy servant will go and fight with these Philistines. And Saul said to David, thou art not able to go against the Philistines to fight with him, for thou art but a youth, and he a man of war from his youth. And David said to Saul, thy servant, he had to share testimony. He said, I have killed lion before. I have killed bear before with ordinary handle. So let me try. But all these things is because of the money. Verse 41. Do you see how many challenges now? This is a vision that just appeared within few hours. Within that few hours, how many challenges have appeared too? For every vision, there's always a challenge following it. And that's what our prayers is going to address here today. Look at verse 41. And the Philistines came on and drew near unto David, and the man that bare the shield went before him. And when the Philistine looked about, he was looking for who is going to fight against him. He now saw David, he disdained him. Another challenge. For he was but a youth, and ruddy, and of fair countenance. And the Philistine said unto David, am I a dog, that thou comest with a stave? And the Philistine cursed David by his spirituality. The enemies now have deployed gods, idols, to fight against David. David could have said, since I was born, nobody has cursed me before with gods. I'm going home. But because there was now a very huge opportunity of life that will change his life forever. There was now a vision of David coming out of the wilderness from looking after sheep. That vision was looming large before him. If you like, cost me more than all your idols. He was willing to take the risk. David, in verse 45, then said David to the Philistine, thou comest to me with a sword and with spear and with a shield, but I come to thee in the name of the Lord of hosts, the God of the army of Israel, whom thou hast defied. This day will the Lord deliver thee into my hand, and I will smite thee and take thy head from thee, and I will give the carcass of the host of the Philistines this day unto the fowls of the air and to the wild beasts of the earth, that all the earth may know that there is a God in Israel. And David put his hand in his bag and took thence a stone and slang it and smote the Philistine in his forehead. Listen carefully. Do you know Jehovah God did not tell David, go and fight this war? He didn't hear voice. He didn't see vision. He didn't see any dream. He is acting on intuition by himself from his heart. And God backed it up. When you see a vision that will project your destiny and your glory and bring you to limelight, if you follow it, God will back you up. Do you know that David also could have withdrawn when he encountered all those challenges and say, I'm going home? Do you know Jehovah God will not say, why are you going home? God will not call him back and say, come back and fight this war. No. Sometimes, brethren, we take the initiative. You launch out by faith and God will back you up. So you can see now, even though God was not the one that told him go and fight that war, but because he has seen a vision and is pursuing that vision, God manifested and God backed him up. And so he slew him, but there was no sword in his hand, verse 51. Therefore David ran and stood upon the Philistine and took his sword and drew it out of the sheath thereof and slew him and cut off his head therewith. And when the Philistines saw their champion was dead, they fled. Do you know David's life has changed? Life has changed forever. The first thing he did was he allowed them to, I think the king allowed him to be the one to carry the head of Goliath to Jerusalem. I think they will need one kind of basket or something like that for him to, because that head must be very heavy. But he carried the head to Jerusalem and hid the sword somewhere because you know he will need it for another vision. This one now successfully accomplished. Successfully accomplished. Do you know David did not go back to the wilderness again? Didn't go back to become a shepherd boy anymore. Life has changed. Do you know that day, brethren, that day, women became singers. And the album they released became #1 in the country. When they were saying, David has killed his 10,000, Saul killed only 1,000. And that day became #1 hit. His life changed forever. Just because he saw a door, he saw opportunity, he saw a vision, and he quickly grabbed it. Quickly grabbed it. Whatsoever vision the Lord has given to you, brother, don't throw it away. No matter the kind of challenge that is facing you, no matter what the enemy surround you to choke that vision to death, don't allow it. You will get to the destination. You will hold your vision in your hand. Sometimes to actualize visions, you might even need to forge alliance. That's what David did. Because something now happened after that event. David was like, what is the next vision? What is the next vision? Then one day, Prophet Samuel came to their house and they called for him. And he poured oil on his head and said, I have made you the king of Israel. Is that not another vision? The vision now no longer going to be the king's in-law, but to be the king himself. That vision is now standing large in his front. Then what happened? The kind of challenges he has never faced before arose. The bigger the vision, the bigger the challenge. Do you realize that? So if you are thinking that my challenge is too big for me, I can't survive, don't worry, it's because the vision is huge. It's because the joy and the glory is too big. That's why. And then King Saul started to chase him up and down. Before that vision of becoming the next king, he was still living inside the house, isn't it? Now he's in the forest, he's living. They now drove him completely away from town. He has to be living inside caves. And inside, he got to a point. Do you know what David said? He said, the way this thing is going, one day I will perish in the hand of this madman. Because any time that insanity comes upon Saul, the next thing is carry javelin, is David is looking for. He threw the javelin. 2 times, David escaped. David said, one day this man will kill me. Do you know where he ran to? He ran to the house of the Philistines, from one enemy to another enemy house. He ran to the house of the Philistines. When he reached there, they said, look at this, is it not David? Do you know what he did? He turned to a madman. He started to pour saliva and scratch himself on the ground. They say he's a madman. You see challenges of life. And this is how he was able to maneuver all those things. And the question I have for you today is this. Did that vision come to pass? Did he become the king? Why will your own fail? Your own can never fail. Your vision will surely come to pass. If the Lord did, that's why the Bible started where we started in Hebrew. He said they will have cloud of witnesses. People that have gone through similar things. And they also got their own visions. That's why I'm so confident that you will get your own vision. You will lay hold on your own vision. So no matter what the enemy is doing, don't allow it to move you. Let Satan go and hug the transformer. That's his personal headache. Don't allow him to distract you. Because you will surely lay hold on your visions. I know some of you shared some of your own with me. Mighty visions. Where God is taking you to. Don't allow anything to distract you. And you can see, David got to a point, he formed alliance. He formed alliance with Jonathan. Just to survive. Just to be able to get to that position. He just wanted a good life. He was tired of living a shepherd boy. He just wanted his condition to improve. For his family to be free. And he got it at the end. Do you know he had 7 brothers? He was the last born, the youngest. But all the elder brothers, because those ones had no vision. They had no vision. Do you know when David became king, they will come to serve under his army. He will be employing them. That's how people that have no vision operate. Those who have no vision at all. They have no direction. They are not going anywhere. They just while away time. They sit in one position forever and ever. They are not pushing towards anything. And you're not going to be like that. Because your life is a life of purpose. And the Lord has a big plan for your life. And you will fulfill that purpose. Let's close our eyes. Close your eyes. And cry out like this. I refuse to abandon my God-given visions. In the name of Jesus. I refuse vehemently.
Thank you for watching. If this message blessed you, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to join our growing community of faith. You've just listened to the sermon, but there are powerful prayers that follow. Due to social media rules and guidelines, the prayers have been removed from this video. However, you can access the full prayers and more life-changing resources by visiting www.pastorhillary.org or downloading our app, Diadem Media. If you're in the London area, we'd love to have you fellowship with us in person at 4 Pegamoid Road, N18 2NG. If you have any questions about this message, want counseling from Pastor Hilary, or wish to share your testimonies following the prayers, please leave a comment below and someone from our team will get in touch. Until next time, may God bless you abundantly and guide you in all your ways. Stay victorious.